Welcome to Say Like a Champ, episode 263. It's your boy A-Dub.
And your boys Drizzy. What's up, SLAC fam? What's up, y'all?
What's good? What's good? We got moms and Unc in the building. Hello from
You.
Texas and happy Tuesday, everybody.
Nice.
Glad to be back on another edition of Say Like a Champ. And it's an exciting one because we've had football, the first week of football action. Definitely some stories we want to jump into on that. And then a few other just little kind of supplementary sports stories. It's pretty slow in the world of obviously in the world of NBA and things like that. But we're getting back to it.
Mm-hmm.
But before we jump in, I just want to do a quick Strizzy check-in. Strizzy, how you doing today?
I'm straight, man. I'm doing really, really good, man. It's been, I got the the bug back, a couple weeks ago. I was telling you about just in regards to just creating content and getting things out there. So I've been pushing a lot of stuff out on the new anime channel and things of that nature. So it's been really good, man. Today's a really busy day work-wise, but aside from that, man, I'm just straight. How about you?
Yeah, same, man. Just getting some work together. Trying to make sure that I'm in a good place because I'm gonna be getting ready to have some time off, which is gonna be nice.
Nice.
But yeah, man, just busy day. It's always something, and then just kind of trying to get my mind right, man. Just trying to stay positive as always. But
Good.
it's a struggle sometimes, man. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's just a lot going on. So definitely glad to be back with the SLAC fam and to talk a little sports and to escape for a bit. So that's what's up. We also got Anthony Wesson in the building, yo, and we have Pops as well. So good evening. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our topics for today. We'll start with the scoreboard. With the NFL, I always love to do just kind of if there was any surprising results from week one. I think for me, for sure, the Patriots over the Bengals. We talk about it, so it's kind of surprising, but it's kind of not, right? Because the Bengals always start slow.
Yeah, they start slow. It's crazy.
But is this like an indication more of like the Bengals not being ready, or is it the Patriots might be a little bit better than we thought? What was your thoughts on the game?
I think Bengals just not being really ready because the Patriots still they still weren't impressive. You know what I'm saying? Like they still weren't very impressive. I just think I don't know why, man. Bengals just start off really, really slow, and it's always something where it's just no one looks good, and Burrow's their guy, and even he just for whatever reason they just go 0-2 every year. 0-2. They're gonna lose next week too. You know what I'm saying? And before they start to win their first game or whatever, but. You know what I mean? Like you said, we kind of called it. You know what I mean? Like I think we thought Bengals would still win the game, but we knew it wasn't going to be an easy one. And the Patriots ended up sneaking one out. They got the one touchdown. You know what I mean? That they needed to win that game, and I don't know, man. It's wild.
Yeah, for sure. I did want to talk a little bit, kind of get your temperature. I seen some posts on your story. How are you feeling after the Saints beat down the Panthers?
Oh, I'm done with the Panthers, dog. Like I'm so done. Like y'all go. Like I've narrowed it down to two different teams in which I'm jumping ship on. Like it's not even a matter anymore of you deal with the highs and lows of your team, and like some years you got good years, and you got to deal with some of the bad ones. But like at this point, it's just kind of like I don't even recognize this franchise anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really weird. Like the decisions that they've made over the last couple of years, like nothing at all has gone good. You know what I mean? And it's been really bad. But Bryce sucks. Like I was cracking up because I always talk about how Alabama doesn't produce good NFL quarterbacks, and I had to go back to when the very the last Bama quarterback was, and it was I can't remember who the guy before Joe Namath, but it was him and then Joe Namath. That's how long ago it was, dog. Where an actual Bama produced quarterback actually had a successful NFL career. Yeah. So a lot of people will be like Jalen Hurts. I'm like, yeah, but Jalen Hurts' best college year was in Oklahoma, and he was drafted out of Oklahoma. So it's I see where you might be able to do a little bit there, but I'm like, for me, he's a Sooner, dog. So
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And man, it's really, really bad. I talked about it last year when everyone was trying to give him so much slack in regards to the O line and receivers. But nah, bro, O line held up. he got sacked 3 times by a safety, dog, and all 3 of those times were his fault. Like they were his fault. You know what I'm saying? It was just like that had nothing to do with the O-line. Like he ran into it himself, and the line actually held up for a change. Receivers were wide open. Yeah, Deontay Johnson was open on a first down, like wide open. He like heavily overthrew him. He wasn't under pressure or anything. It was just it's just like all the stuff that I saw him doing last year when people were making excuses like, oh, it's the O-line, it's a receiver. Same mistakes, nothing looked better, and it should have looked better. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't see it last year, and I know it's only one game, but I still don't see it this year, and like it's frustrating. Like they need to take the Cardinals route and just Rosen to Kyler, you know what I'm saying? Same thing, Bryson, and figure it out and draft him the quarterback. I really do like like I said, man, just watching him, it's like it's so frustrating. Like it's so frustrating. Just no arm, he's tiny, can't see over. Like dude, it's like watching a junior in high school, not even a senior. Like just even like his voice, like everything about him is just so small, dog. Like he is a tiny human being, bro. Like so like it just like I'm like let the rocket start, bro, and just if you want to salvage any like if you don't want to go 0-16 or 1-15, bro, like you got to get him out of there. He's not an NFL quarterback. He is horrible. Yeah, and then it sucks even more too watching like a great game between the Texans and the Colts because that was a great game. Like that game was awesome. That game was phenomenal, man. So that I'm watching 2 studs just go at it, having great games, and I got to watch my guys get absolutely blown out by a division team. You know what I'm saying? A team that we should know well, regardless of new coaching staff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so for us to get blown out like that by a team that we should know very, very well was it was frustrating. It was very, very frustrating.
Yeah.
So y'all gonna see me in a Niners cap soon, bro. It's between those 2 now.
Dog, so Ravens or Niners, please. We have enough Niners gang representation, so go with the Ravens, dog.
yeah. Coming from a Cowboy fan, I see that.
Oh man,
it's Kelly, right? Kelly's the Niner rep.
Yeah, Kelly's Niners. We got a few other Niners fans in the family, but
okay.
You know, I don't know. Stay on the East Coast, you know, because the Panthers are East Coast. So nah, whatever your heart is telling you for sure.
Like, it was a good rivalry though. Like if I end up switching, I think a big part of it is just like they have a lot of players that I really love watching, especially my dog CMC. And then I'd actually be able to watch them once a year. You know what I'm saying? I'd actually be able to go to a game and see them actually play it at least once a year. You know what I'm saying? They're close enough to travel, but they're definitely a fun team to watch. They're good, but at the same time too, like Ravens has always been kind of like my side piece team, and I might as well just completely jump ship if I'm going to go with the Ravens for sure. But yeah, it's we talked about my decision making when I was a kid, in choosing the Panthers, and it was a fun run. It was a fun run, but now I'm making the adult decision now and choosing a different team. So we're moving on.
He's like, yo, I get it, dog. You don't want to be hurt anymore. I feel you. Well, you could still
it's just the idiocy, but it's just dumb. Like,
yeah,
I feel like I would definitely, it makes me feel like I could be an NFL GM and I'd do a way better job. I know it. I'm so positive.
For sure. But you could do Ravens and Niners and have the AFC, NFC, because like you said, the Ravens were already your AFC kind of side piece. So
exactly.
I feel that. Any other surprising outcomes you wanted to touch on?
I'm trying to think. Giants still suck. Sam Darnold actually had a really, really good game. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of funny.
Looked pretty solid,
funny, man. Like when he was in Carolina, and obviously with Matt Rule, it just didn't work out. But then you get with Coach Wilkes, and he has a phenomenal last couple of games to end the season. You know what I'm saying? It actually looked like actually it may not be 100% on Sam Darnold. And then even just the amount of time he played and the 49ers, like the blowouts, he comes in and plays really well there too. And now he's in Minnesota. I think he started the game off like 14-14 or 15-15 or something like that with a touchdown. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he might be all right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's good or anything like that, but I'm saying like in terms to just how much crap he's gotten throughout his entire career of just being super bad and things of that nature, like it really might have just been the Jets. You know what I'm saying? Like and coaching staff in Carolina. You know what I'm saying? So bro might actually be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. And especially with the pressure off, like he knows he's going to be the man this year. The rookie's out for the year. So he's like, I'm good. Like, I feel like when he doesn't have that pressure behind him, like he feels a little bit better. So yeah, I think he'll do all right. And he's got weapons, and definitely Giants still suck. Ever since they paid Daniel Jones, this is a crazy stat, but it's true. Ever since they paid Daniel Jones, he's thrown more touchdowns to the other team than to his own team.
For real.
And I first was like, there's no way that's true, but I had to go back and check. And he's thrown more
pick sixes, the 2 touchdown passes, something like that. That's crazy, dog.
That's insane.
So y'all see why I be giving this man crap every week. Like, this is why. Like, it's not. I'm telling you, it's not my emotions. We be reading this stuff. You know what I'm saying? He's right. Bad too. He's bad too.
Yeah, for sure. I did want to give a shout out to my Cowboys handling business against the Browns. The Browns offense did not look as good as I thought it would, but also our defense looked a little bit better than I thought they would too. So I was really pleased with that. And then as far as the offensive line held up. We didn't score as many touchdowns as we probably should have, settled for field goals a lot, but they still got the job done and pretty lopsided in the end. A couple more comments I want to talk about, but I do want to say shout out to Pops for winning week 1.
Oh, yeah.
So we actually had 4 different people that were tied at 14-2. So some really strong out the gate. I think it was Pops, Stephanie, Trevor, and one other person, I can't remember who. But shout out to all of them. But Pops won on the tiebreaker. So that's what's
nice. Yeah, I think Dallas. It's crazy, man. Like I don't know what it is, but I'm like, if I'm the Browns, it kind of sucks that this man is making $200 million guaranteed, but like Watson has not had a good game. Like not a solid season. Like, he hasn't had a good game since becoming a Brown and coming off that 11-game suspension when they traded him. Like he has not had one good one yet. He's been bad, and then you look at what Joe Flacco did coming in, not knowing the offense, not knowing the playbook and things of that nature, and then really gets them to the playoffs. And the Browns' offense for that short period of time looked what he was
dynamic, looked way different.
3 to 4 touchdown passes from him a game almost. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know, man. Like if I'm the Browns too, I'm all. It sucks because like that's so much money locked into your franchise quarterback, but like that's a problem. Like you're looking at him like, dog, you're $200 million man, and Joe Flacco came in here with you know what I'm saying, from after banging
off the bench, like after sitting out for a year. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like, and he came in and just did complete work. Like what's the deal? Like what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So you gotta look at that too, because Watson has not been good.
Yeah, for sure. Ugg says Cleveland should call Flacco and see if he's available sometime this season.
I'll tell you.
Anthony says they have Tony now. They did sign Kadarius Toney, so that's really going to help improve things over there for sure.
They got too many weapons, man. Even like Ford, the running back, played really well last year, taking over with Chubb coming out. Chubb's only going to miss about at least the first 4 weeks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they still have what's his face? Cooper.
Amari Cooper. Yeah.
I've never really been. They got Judy too. Yeah,
they got Jerry Judy. They have weapons. They do. Yeah. They really do.
So it's kind of like, what's going on? Like, what's the problem?
Exactly. But we'll see a little bit as we go in. Like, if that offense gets a little bit better against a different defense,
right?
Or how that goes down. But that'll be interesting.
Yeah, because the defense was on them. The defense was definitely on them.
They were ready.
And I think the offense was sparked too. I think Zeke coming back. Like I think he was happy to be back. You know what I'm saying? Like he got to start, got a couple of runs. He was already starting to feed me stuff, and Dak getting paid right before. You know what I'm saying? And CD getting paid a week ago. Like I think they were hyped. I think they were all pumped. Like, all right, gang back together. And with all of those signings, it saves money to get Micah his contract next season. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, maybe even midseason. If they're basically like, we might as well just lock this up now. But I think everything they were just ready. Like they came in kind of hyped and ready to go.
Yeah, for sure. I do agree with you. I feel like the vibes were really good. And yeah, getting that news about that, we'll talk about the contract a little bit too, is like that was really cool to see, for sure. But I agree with you. I think that they're like, all right, now we got all the BS out of the way. Like, there's nothing left to do but to win. So
exactly, time to play.
I'm hoping that's what they continue to do. So pregame, there was some story, and I see some chatter about it already. So I did want to talk about the Tyreek Hill situation. And I think it's kind of crazy, man. Like, I do think I think there's issues on both sides. But what I wanted to do is I did get the body cam footage. I wanted to just watch it together real quick. And then I know we have a few comments coming in already. I would love to hear other Slackers' opinions. And then, of course, yours. I want to start off with yours at the end of this. So let's take a minute really quickly to watch the body cam footage. And then we'll discuss.
Yeah, let's do it.
Why don't you have your seatbelt on?
Don't knock on my window.
Why don't you have your seatbelt on?
Knock on my window like that, though.
Like what?
Don't knock on my window like that.
Why you have it up?
Don't knock on my window like that.
Why you have it up? I have to knock to let you know I'm here. That way you can lower it and talk to
Just
you.
get my ticket, bro, so I can go. I'm finna be late, gang. Do what you gotta do.
Keep it down. Hey! Keep your window down. Hey! Keep your window down.
Don't tell me what.
Keep your window down. I'm gonna get you out of the car. As a matter of fact, get out of the car.
Give me that.
Get out of the car.
Give me that. I'm gonna break that freaking window.
Get out of the car.
I'm finna get out.
Get out of the car right now. We're not playing this game. Get out.
I'm finna get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. What part of blood is doing this? Hey, Drew, I'm getting arrested, dude. I'm getting arrested. I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting out, bro. Twin.
When we tell you to do something, you do it. You understand?
I'm getting out,
You
bro.
understand? Not what you want, but what we tell you.
Hold on, bro. I just had surgery on my knee. I just had surgery on my knee, bro. I just had surgery on my knee, bro.
I just heard you in your ears when we told you to put your window down.
Chill, bro. Chill.
All right. What are your thoughts on the situation?
A lot of people, and it's usually white people, unfortunately, will tell you, just comply, this won't happen to you, right? But that's not true. It never is. You know what I'm saying? And it is not a part of the law. Like, when an officer pulls you over for a traffic stop, you don't actually have to keep your window down. You can roll it down to give them your license and registration and insurance, and then you can roll it back up. And when he had what he needed, he should have, in fact, walked back and got Tyreek Hill his ticket, and then walked back, re-knocked, gave him his stuff, and let him on his way. Him not doing that was pride. That was him upset because Tyreek Hill didn't do what he wanted him to do. So there's that piece of it. Could Tyreek have made it easier on himself and just left his window down? Yeah, of course he could have. But I think the biggest problem right now that we're having with police like this is they're allowing that badge get to their head in the extent of, like, we are allowed to do what we want to do, and there's nothing you can do about it, because at the end of the day, there isn't, right? And not until a later incident. Tyreek wants to take legal action or whatever the case may be, but a lot of times us unarmed black men are not making it to take legal action. And he made a really good point. If he's not Tyreek Hill, like, so much more could have happened. Even though that officer had mentioned he didn't know who he was, the other officers that came did. When he told him to get out of the car and he opens the car door and they drag him out of the car and put him down, that's also unnecessary. It's a traffic stop. It's a traffic stop at the end of the day. Like, it's not, there's no drugs, there's no weapon, there's nothing like that. Like, it's a traffic stop. So putting him on his back, putting your knee into his back, thankfully it wasn't his neck. All of the things that you're doing are just extremely excessive. So I've seen, I see what Pops is saying in the comments, but it's all fun and games until it's one of your own. You don't have to like Tyreek Hill, but what happened to Tyreek Hill still wasn't okay. So for me personally, like it's just another incident of a cop using his power to humiliate him or make it or teach him a lesson that didn't need to be taught. Because whether or not, because of the color of our skin, whether or not we cooperate or don't cooperate, like these things are still happening.
Yeah.
Me and a buddy of mine were talking, and of course he's white, and he kind of said the same thing about like if you just cooperate and things like that wouldn't happen. But the fact of the matter is, like, and he has a DUI, right? I was like, so let me ask you a question. When you got your DUI and you're driving recklessly on the road, endangering both yourself and other people, I was like, how did the cop handle your traffic stop? And he was like, nothing like that. Like he was honest about it. I was like, oh, wasn't anything remotely close to this? I was like, exactly. I was like, and I promise you, you were endangering yourself and others far more than what Tyreek Hill was. And you still weren't met with that type of force. Yeah. Yeah. So for me personally, it's just like the escalation is it's uncalled for. You know what I mean? Like it's uncalled for.
Yeah, I feel it. I think you made a lot of great points, and it's definitely like a tricky conversation to have. I agree with what you were saying as far as like, people say like, oh, just comply and everything will be okay. And it's like that shouldn't be the world we live in, but unfortunately it kind of is, Right. And like I do think that a lot of this is just like male bravado, ego, machismo on both sides. Because like the beginning of the video, like from the very beginning, they're going back and forth. Don't knock on my window like that. Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Don't knock on my window. Like they're already not getting anywhere except for just raising and escalating the situation both sides. But I always like to think back, like, well, who's trained for this situation? Like, yeah, was Tyreek kind of being a jerk? Was he being different because he rolled his window up? Did they take it wrong already? Like, yes. But did that mean they need to throw him out of the car like that, pull him down? Like, it's funny that the initial officer, like the second officer was the one that got really riled up, even though he wasn't really involved. Like he came along and was like, all right, like I got, like, he was almost like taking his, like the lead that he wanted to see his partner do. He's like, I'm going to just yank his ass out the car. I'm not going to go back and forth with him. And that's the same person that later on, when they were standing up, came over and like dragged him to the floor, right? When he was already cuffed.
Right.
That I feel like definitely excessive, but I do understand when people are saying like, there's things that he did where he probably could have helped himself. Like you said, like, did he do himself any favors along the way?
No.
Not until he was like, until they were already on him. And then he's like, okay, but it's like before that, he was kind of like, man, like, screw y'all. Just like, and I get it. Like, he's like, do what you got to do. Write me my ticket. I'm on my way. But they obviously weren't having that. You know what I mean? And they weren't.
And a big part of it, like a big part of it too, is it's that celebrity entitlement, right? And honestly, probably the fact that he's got a game to play. He's probably in a rush. You know what I mean?
He's like, yo, I'm about to be late. Like,
he's like, I gotta go. You know what I mean? So like, I don't condone it at all, because like you said, like, and don't get me wrong, Pops, I've been there too. So I understand what you're saying with comply so you get home alive. But for me, more so, it's still more so along the fact of just like you said earlier, like we just shouldn't have to deal with this. You know what I mean? Like we just shouldn't. And like you said, it's the world we live in, but it shouldn't be that way, right? And so like you said, he didn't do himself any favors. But like, I don't know, let's just like just do your job. Like you pulled me over because I was speeding, driving reckless, cool. Even like I hate to say it, but like even ask him like, why isn't your seatbelt on? Who cares? Give him a ticket for the seatbelt too. You know what I'm saying? Like why are you asking stupid questions? Like you pulled me over for speeding, like cool, great. I fucked up. I take responsibility of that. But give me my ticket. I need to be on my way. I gotta go. I got a game to play.
Yeah.
So I get that too. Like you'll never hear me talking like that to a police officer, because like for me, I'm like I got too much to live for in general. But like you said, like it's like a pride and ego thing that just didn't need to go. And at the end of the day, one person is unarmed with no weapons, and the other one is armed with multiple, lethal and non.
Right.
So like I just feel like when we talk about, you know, I don't even think this has to do with anything with training. And you know, I think Tyreek is taking the smart route by what he was saying, like in his interviews and the podium, things of that nature, of just like, you know, things got to be different. He's like, but I get it. He's like, I have no problem with cops. He's like, you know, he basically, I won't say talked them up, but talked about in the sense of just like, you know, they're just doing their job and things of that nature. You know what I mean? Like he didn't want any negative backlash from it going towards the Dade County officers, right? So I respected that because he could have said a lot more in a different type of tone, right? But I don't know. To me, it's just like you can always handle something a certain way. You know what I mean? And the forceful way is not always the way to go about it. You know, I saw something too, you know, really quick, and they talked about like how many mass murderers, all white, who were armed and literally dangerous, literally killing people, were all taken. You know what I mean? Without
with like bubble wrap, like
literally. And then the amount of, you know, people who look like us who were taken, who were unarmed, some of them in their own homes, like it was crazy who don't get to go home to their families, right?
Yeah.
So like for me, it's just like this didn't necessarily. I don't like making everything about race because a lot of it, you know what I mean? Like I said, like he didn't do himself any favors, but I just honestly feel that if he was a different shade, things are handled still differently.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that, though. It is crazy, though. It's like, you know, it was kind of I like there was some different you know, conversation in the comments, and I know we all have different opinions, but I think that one thing that kind of threads through all of it is like that this situation could have been handled differently, definitely. And I do like what Unc said. You know, having a badge doesn't exempt you from wrong because it's like they got their egos, you know, up with it too. Right. And they were like, you know, not going to be satisfied with just like doing their job at the bare minimum. They were wanting to, you know, put a little bit extra into it. So I see like on both sides, and also Unc, like I appreciate you kind of telling a story or sharing kind of your story about how you were targeted and things like that. And I think we've all been there to a certain extent in different situations. And I definitely will think like, you know, I don't know. I just think that, yeah, this definitely could have been handled differently. I don't really think that, you know, he'll handle himself the best, but also like you kind of don't necessarily have to be a nice guy. Like if he's just that's his style, like then that should be okay. And the officers should still be able to get their job done without taking it to the next level. Exactly. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Springfield, welcome Springfield to the chat. I also want to welcome Kelly as well. She jumped in. He's saying too about a networking job. He's talked about lawyers that tell me that you don't have to tell the cops anything. And that's very true. Like there are different like things out there where it's like, you really don't have to like discuss your day. You don't have to be like where I'm coming from, where was I going, things like that. But it's hard, definitely, that like, you know, the right thing and necessarily like what you have to do is not going to stop like, you know, people from taking it to a different level if that's what they want to do. And that's the hard part where it's like, you know, for me, I'm like, okay, I'm going to just try to do everything I can to like shut this down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But should it be like that? You know, I don't know. But at the same time, like you said, like I have too much to risk for. Like if it's you want to say like, oh, you're being a punk because you did this or that, well, then call me a punk because that, you know what I mean? Like we're in that situation. I guess I'm gonna just be a punk because my thing is like, yeah, man to man, it's different. Like, and yeah, this was more of a situation where it's like it's two men going at each other instead of like an officer and a civilian, and it's like that can get out of hand pretty quickly. Yeah. And so it's like for me, it's like I can take all that out of it because at the end of the day, like we do have a disadvantage, and we are at the disadvantage when it comes to a citizen versus an officer of law, unfortunately. So.
Like bottom line too, a police officer's job is to protect, serve, and de-escalate. That is their actual job. Yeah, you know, the stuff you see in action movies is all bullshit.
Right.
It's all you know. There are so many officers that go their entire careers without ever having to fire their firearm. You know what I'm saying? Because like it's just not your job. It's not your job to use your, you know what I'm saying? Like, so for me, I mean, how often do you see these situations where other people, and of course, again, when we got to go back to the white and black thing, you know, it's like where these dudes, these women, whatever, are cussing out cops, they're saying everything they want, and nothing happens. You know what I mean? But you know, like you said, like you don't have to tell them anything. Like you can, you know what I mean? And Pops is right. Like, of course, I think he asked if I cooperated. Of course, I cooperated. I got 2 little girls. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at the same time, it's just one of those things where it's like Tyreek could have been F you this, F you that, get the F out of here, give me my effing ticket. Whatever he would have said is still within his rights. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can say whatever he wants to say.
Yeah.
Get him his ticket and let him be on. Or if he's being arrested, read him his rights, arrest him, and take him to jail.
Yeah.
But you still have to have a reason for it.
Right. Right. And that is the thing. Is like whether he hurt your feelings because he was like being whatever, being arrogant or being dismissive or whatever, like that doesn't mean like, you know, whatever. But it's tough.
It's not breaking the law to hurt your feelings.
Exactly. I do want to welcome Earthly to the show as well. Welcome, Earth. Thanks for dropping in on us and definitely appreciate you being a part of the show. But yeah, it is crazy. At the end of the day, it's going to end up being much ado about nothing, honestly. I don't really know. I think one of the officers was like placed on administrative duties for right now.
Yeah,
but
just administrative duties.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, he didn't even get leave. They're just like, you got to ride the desk for a second.
Exactly.
But I do have to say, like, I know it's not like funny, but it's kind of funny. Like, I did think it was funny that the cop was like, you must have had surgery on your ears because you couldn't hear us. Like that cracks me up. Like, but obviously, like the way he's talking and like the way that's coming out, that's emotion. You know, he's upset. You know, where it's like, if you were a professional and just doing your job, like it shouldn't matter. Like, you know, all the extra, like, you know what I'm saying, like all the shit talking and all the like, you must have had surgery on your ears. But I did think that was kind of funny. I was like, oh my god. Okay. A couple more NFL stories. Just wanted to do a couple injury updates. Jordan Love injured at the end of the game against the Eagles, which is tough. We talked about the fact that they have like no backup option. But they did trade. They did trade for Malik Willis, and it's looking like he's going to start this weekend. But Jordan Love was not placed on IR, so it looks like it'll be less than 4 games. Puka Nacua was placed on IR. Unfortunately, after his breakout rookie season, he re-injured something that he had hurt in training camp.
That's right.
We talked about Dak already with him getting – well, we didn't talk about, I guess, specifically. He did get paid $240 million for 4 years, $60 million overall, over $200 million guaranteed, most ever for, highest paid player, basically, in the NFL. I am so happy. Like, as somebody who follows the SEC closely and was rooting for Dak actually all the way back when he was Mississippi State Bulldog, all the things that he kind of went through, he's just always been one of my favorite players. I remember when he got drafted to the Cowboys, I was like, this dude's going to change our franchise. Now, he has not brought the Super Bowl. That's the only thing left to do. But at the same time, not a lot of quarterbacks are out there winning Super Bowls right now, and it's a very high bar and a high standard. But I do think that he's deserved the contract, and I do think that the Cowboys are smart for getting it done now, because if they had waited and he had a good season at the end of the year, he's going to get that money somewhere else. And we have to remember that the salary cap just keeps going up. So his number, just like last time, 3 years ago when he became the highest paid, is going to get trumped again this coming off season or later this year. So I'm not too worried about the money. I'm more worried about the fact that they have all that BS behind them and they can move forward with like just a clear mind of like, this is what we need to do together, instead of still worrying about, am I going to be here next year? Is this my last year? All that stuff. So I was very happy with it. And as a Dak fan personally, like, I'm so happy for him. This dude had to literally be borrowing money from Ezekiel Elliott his rookie season when they were going 13-3 because Elliott was a first-round pick and heavily paid. And now to see where he's come from, like, is really cool to me. So I was definitely happy with that. The last person I have on here is Fields. I had a question for you. Fields started. He wasn't anything crazy to write home about, but they did get the win against the Falcons. Wilson is still kind of has some nagging injuries. Do you think even if Wilson's healthy at this point for week 2, would you go forward with Fields or would you bring Wilson in?
I don't know. The offense was still bad. The 6 field goals. I said 6 field goals, something like that. I think they scored. No touchdown. So I feel like it's week 1. You know what I mean? Like it's not like anybody plays a bunch of preseason football. Everybody's gonna. So like you'd hope when they came out and they talked about getting a new offensive coordinator, and they're gonna be a little bit more offensive minded this year. Like you'd hope to see a little bit better of an offense flow in game 1, especially against. I guess the Falcons are supposed to look better this year too, but I guess we'll see. But for me personally, I just if you think Fields is going to be your future, absolutely. Like at this point, like why even give the reins back to Russell Wilson? But I think because Russell Wilson still has plenty of years left, and he is kind of more of a veteran and should have 2 Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? Like. I think you do have to give it back to him if he's ready, say next week. If Russ isn't ready for another, 3-4 weeks, but like week 3, maybe week 4, like it's kind of like I don't know, you know what I mean? Like especially if they're like 3-0, 4-0 with Fields behind center, I think you stay with him. Like he's not a rookie behind the starter. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like. Oh yeah, once he gets back, he gets his job back, right? Like they're both new to this offense, and if they're winning with him, I don't really feel you go back. You know what I mean? You just ride it out with the dude who's been helping you win. You know what I mean? Like because he's not a rookie either. You know what I'm saying? He's at this point he's considered a veteran quarterback in the league, and it's not like Wilson had a great two years prior to this. So I don't know. It's tricky. I wish he himself would have just done a little better. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't do bad. He didn't do bad. I just, it's kind of like, man, if he would have had like a crazy game and they, 3-4 touchdowns, something like that, and he ran for another kind of Justin Fields type, game. You know what I mean, it'd been crazy, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I agree. Like I think for sure if he plays another week and he's okay, leave him in there because I still feel like at this point in their careers, his ceiling is potentially higher than Wilson's.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Good point.
And like I think that Tomlin's the kind of guy where it's like if you go out there and you get the job done, like I'm not going to take that spot away from you.
Right.
And they're not paying Wilson anything; they're paying him veteran minimum.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like you have a lot invested in your who you thought was going to be your starter. So
for sure.
I hope he gets the chance. I hope he rides it out, but I'm with you. I hope he does a little bit better. So then that way there's a little bit more conviction behind them sticking with him,
Right.
All right. I did put Anthony said I missed the pick'em, but I don't know. I don't know if Anthony played or whatever, but I did want to invite anybody who didn't get their picks in for week 1. It's a week-to-week thing. We're going to give out a Super Bowl square every single week. So I did throw the link in the comments. If you guys still needed to get connected to the pick'em, please do that and participate with us. And we'll be back this Thursday with our week 2 predictions and our week 2 locks. I think we had a pretty good week, except for one upset pick. So I think we did pretty good for week 1. And we'll know a little bit more of the lay of the land, and we'll get back to it. So hope you guys join us on Thursday for the pick'ems. But we're going to leave NFL there for now. NBA talk, nothing too crazy, but Murray signed a 4-year, $208 million extension to lock him up and to kind of have him and Jokic together. I just have a question about the Nuggets in general. Was that their 1 year to kind of rise to the top and make it through based on how things were going? Or do you feel like they can be like a perennial, real deal contender as they're constructed now for like the next 3-4 years while they have Murray and Jokic?
No, that was it. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I feel like this past season I think was because I think the only person they really lost was KCP came. They lost Brown, right? The KCP came back. They lost Brown. I feel like that's all they lost. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they did. You know what I mean? And I know Murray kind of went into the playoffs a little hobbled, but like they didn't show me anything really in the playoffs that was just like, oh yeah, this team's gonna be elite for multiple years. They're gonna be in the playoffs. As long as you have Joker, you're
in the race.
Right, you're a contender for the championship, but like I don't know if they had to play as long as Minnesota continues to stay where they are, get better. I don't see them beating them. I don't see them beating the Mavericks anymore. You know what I mean? Like they got a little bit better, adding Klay Thompson. John Morant's coming back as annoying as he can be, but like you can't deny the man's talent and how much better he makes Memphis. You know what I mean? Like, so like I don't know, man. I don't really. It's tough. It's definitely really tricky, but I feel like that window of like, oh, they're going to win a championship. I thought they were going to win it last year too. I thought they were going back to back.
Thought they had the best chance going in. Yeah,
no, for sure. I think that's over. If you get the 6th seed somehow and you win some games and you get that kind of like that easy road back to the finals, of course. Like, they could go 7 games to anybody. You know what I'm saying? But when I'm looking at like, every team from both sides, Western, Eastern Conference, it's like I don't know. I don't have them at the top anymore as I did 2 years ago or last year. Because last year I did. I thought they were going to repeat last year too.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. I'm pretty much in the same spot with them. It's like I think that they're a good team, a solid team, but I feel like the timing was right. The cards fell the way they were. Mm-hmm. Almost like a Raptors situation. You know what I mean? Like you strike while the iron's hot. You cash in on your chances.
Yeah.
But are they going to be like a shoe-in or like a really big threat? I don't think so. And I think the West is just way too tough.
Yeah. Seriously.
Ugg says crazy, but we can't get more than 5% cost of living increase from the VA. Oh my gosh, I had to get blown up in shot to receive this. But yeah, the money situation we talked about before too, where it's like the money, man, and the entertainment and the branding deals they keep signing and the distribution and the streaming, like it just keeps going up and up and up. It's crazy.
I'm just trying to get a little bit of money.
Pop says Nuggets really lacking depth, but getting Westbrook should help them get back to title contenders. I think that's true though. Like that's
a good point too. I forgot Russ went there. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I am excited to see Westbrook over there.
And too, like Jamal Murray. It's weird because it's like he's obviously proven. I think he's worth the contract extension, but it's like he's got to like get a little more consistent, in my opinion. You know what I mean? For that kind of money, like
true.
He has big games, but he also has a lot of dull ones,
little letdowns. Yeah,
you know what I mean, or ones where it's just like.
Well, I wish he would have more of those against the Lakers because he hit freaking game winners against the Lakers in that first series. Like for whatever reason, he loves playing against the Lakers.
All I said, bro, his confidence against Lakers in general is just it's just at peak, bro. Like there's something against y'all that he's just like, I'm about to make everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, for whatever reason. But even in like the Olympics, like what do you average? 3 points a game? 3 points a game? Something
yeah,
crazy?
He was coming off the bench for Canada. Like he wasn't even starting. So
no. So it's kind of and you think about it, it's like, man, you got Jamal Murray coming off your bench. That's crazy. But like, but no. Like he should have been putting up so many more points that coming off the bench because you're the primary guy, you're the primary scorer at that point. And nothing.
Right. All right, another little story, nothing big deal, but our boy Keldon Johnson made the announcement he's going to switch from number 3 to number 0, making the way for CP3 to continue his legacy, which is cool, man. I feel like Chris Paul in a different, uniform would be weird. And Keldon did say the reason why he wore 3 in the first place was because of Chris Paul. So
yeah,
I am excited. This is one of the offseason acquisitions that because I can't lie, like I was a CP3 fan back when he was with the Hornets and everything like that.
100%.
He was going to come to the Lakers. Yeah, and I know I've kind of fallen off on CP3, but I always have had that respect for him, and I'm especially interested to see him with Pop and with Wemby because Wemby is just a whole nother deal. So I'm really actually excited to watch some Spurs basketball. And I'm glad CP3 will be rocking number 3 because it just wouldn't look natural without.
For sure, it would look really weird if he didn't have that number 3. And you know what? Hate him or love him. I know a lot of people hate him, but like one thing CP3 has done with every single team he's ever been a part of is made them exponentially better.
Right, like made them taking them to the playoffs at least, like
Right.
at the very least.
And immediately, not
Right.
no
First
no
year.
no 1 year ramp up, like
Right.
immediately, like
Yeah.
jump. Like
That's
we all
real.
expected the Thunder to release him and be somewhere. No, he stayed that 1 year and got them to the playoffs. Like that's
He like
so-
kickstarted their reboost, like their revamp.
facts. So I'm like, yeah, hate him or love him, man. That dude is
He's a
they call
baller.
him point guard for a reason. I just wish he could stay healthy. Like,
Yeah.
I really wish that man could stay healthy because maybe we're talking about other things if he can. He just for some reason just cannot get through a playoffs. He cannot get through the playoffs at all. But
For real.
yeah, he's going to make the Spurs a lot more fun to watch. At least next season.
Yeah. Unk says here the top NBA draft picks aren't looking very promising. Zachary Rishauer and Alex Sarr. Yeah, they're not. There is no Wembanyama in the draft this year. I feel like that's the reason why some people did kind of sneak through and get drafted, because it was like that top 5 or 10 was like you could have picked whoever. Like there was no clear-cut star. And I think it's really just going to come down to situations of the teams that they go to, and that'll kind of contribute to their early success. But I don't feel like anybody had like that over-the-top talent to where they would just come out and be an instant difference maker.
Yeah, I think next dude who comes out is going to be Cooper Flag.
Yeah, that'll be the one.
Yeah.
He's already the number 1 pick for next year.
Yeah,
for sure.
he's nice. He's nice. That kid's nice.
Yeah, definitely no rookies making an impact like our WNBA rookies. And we'll use that as a little transition. Angel Reese out for the season with a wrist injury. She's going to have surgery. So her run stops there, but she did set some records, some all-time records in her rookie year and set some rookie records. On the other side, our girl, because we can't mention her without mentioning Caitlin Clark, the Fever have clinched a playoff spot. So they are back in it. And then this is the race for that final spot. Obviously, Chicago is holding on to it for right now, but we'll see how things change with Angel Reese. But in totality, now that her season is over, do you think she has any chance to win Rookie of the Year?
No. How many games are left? Do we know?
I think there's like 7 games left.
No. I think the race was already super tight, and if we're talking about the second half since All-Star break, I'd say Caitlin's actually pulled a little away, just because of
the team success and
the team success. I mean, she's scoring more points, she's assisting more. She's since the All-Star break, I think she's averaging like 9 assists, almost 10 assists a game. She just had her second triple-double. Never, only one person has ever gotten one the rookie year. It was her. Now she's got 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think she's kind of pulled away. And the only thing that just kills me, don't get me wrong, like I love Angel Reese. Like that's my girl. But her field goal percentage is killing her. That's what's really killing her. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's helping the rebounds.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's definitely helping the rebounds, that's for sure. But I think that part of it is really, really hurting her. Like you're shooting a lower percentage. You're shooting a lower percentage right now than Caitlin Clark, and you're essentially a power forward center. So but 7 games left, that's only going to give Caitlin Clark 7 games to really pull away, I think. You know what I mean? And so, I think this year now it's officially Caitlin Clark's.
I agree. But it was a fun race while it lasted, and we definitely have a lot more to see from
She has so much to be proud of. It's
almost like the Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, like we've kind of talked about a little bit type of thing.
Yeah.
It's just reverse roles, you know what I'm saying? They got the point guard, and then but yeah. All right, on baseball side, I always just like to keep updating. We're going to keep trying to look at these wild card races. There's about 19, 18 games left on the MLB side, and Ohtani, man, he hit his 46th home run. He's got 46 stolen bases. It's looking inevitable that over this last couple 3 weeks that he will get 4 more of each and be the first ever player to do the 50-50. Too crazy, man. We just got to keep mentioning it though. He's definitely going to be the NL MVP, but I'm interested to see. There was kind of an article debating like whether Aaron Judge or Bobby Witt Jr. should be the AL MVP. Unfortunately, Judge just has those home runs. I think that's going to make the difference. But when we talk about most valuable to your team, if you take Witt off the Royals, they are not where they are going to be. They are not a 79-win team like this. They are not, a game out or 2 games out of their division. In that really tough division.
Yeah, not really close. I like, Salvador Perez has been great, especially after the All-Star break, and for the Royals as well. And they've got some nice guys. But man, bro, you take Judge off the Yankees, they still have Juan Soto, they still have Jazz Chisholm.
They still have Stanton. There's a reason why.
Yeah,
there's
bro,
a reason why Judge is getting getting pitched to this year is because the lineup around him is like that much better.
Exactly. It's like you put him on base, and you got Juan Soto batting right after him. You know what I'm saying? And then Juan gets on base, and you said Stanton right after. You know what I mean? And then talk about what Jazz did right after they traded for him. You know what I mean? Bro was hitting 2 home runs a game damn near for like 3-4 straight games, bro. Like, yeah. So not to mention it. Don't get me wrong. Like we talked about Aaron Judge being easily probably one of the best, if not the best, hitter in the MLB like ever already. But like as many as home runs as he hits, bro also goes 0 for 4, 0 for 5 quite a bit. Like
sure, he's a little bit more boomer bust as far as his average has gotten better, but I feel you. Yeah, like
right.
It's
like Witt, even if Witt doesn't hit a home run, bro hit 3 base hits. You know what I'm saying? Like bro he's yeah, man. Like it sucks because like I think it's gonna go to Judge, especially because of the record. That plays a big role too. But man, like you said, when you talk about most valuable to the team, it's Witt by far.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully, this is like it. He can continue to do that, and hopefully he'll have more chances to be in that type of MVP race. But I definitely just feel like this year might be a little bit of a robbery if we look at it when it's all said and done.
Yeah,
we'll see.
He's a beast, man. Like
so good.
You just talk. I mean, like it's like after they won the World Series, they kind of fell off a little bit. So you talk about those years they kind of fell off a little bit, and just what he's done for them in those last couple of years, kind of bring them back upwards, dude. Like, yeah, man, that dude.
Yeah,
that dude's phenomenal baseball player, bro.
Put the franchise on his back for a second. It got everything else going, juiced up again. So
literally, bro.
But I definitely love to see it, and I'm definitely excited for baseball. When it comes October time, that's when it's the best for baseball. So we'll get to the playoffs really soon.
Yeah.
All right, next up, what's up?
I was just say it's funny, man. I love how much more invested I am in baseball over the last say 3-4 years than I've ever been. Because for me, it was always like October comes around, I'm ready. But like, bro, I have these baseball games playing while I'm working like every day. Like,
thank FanDuel, man.
Thank FanDuel for real. But I think some of the rule changes they made too have made baseball a little more interesting. You know what I mean? So
true.
I'm not really big on we're never really too big on a lot of the weird changes, but I think baseball did a great job.
They're doing good for sure. They're on the upswing. I can't lie. They are breaking away from a lot of the tradition stuff where it's like you would never think that, but I think it has had a better impact. Just looking really quick, our last topic here, college football. So we got Georgia at number 1 still, but Texas jumped up to number 2 after beating down Michigan at the Big House, put them in their place for real. And the crazy thing is, like, I don't want to be saying anything too blasphemous, you know what I'm saying? But it almost makes me feel even more confident about the Georgia season because Texas doesn't even really look that great.
No.
And if they're the next best, like I really feel like Georgia is just like a next step ahead of Texas, Ohio State, Alabama. Now,
big time.
The cool thing is they play both Texas and Alabama within the next month. So we're going to really get to see where they're at. But I just feel like, man, they're really far ahead right now as far as like where college football is at, the way they're looking. But I do want to give a shout out to Missouri and also Tennessee looking good. The SEC now holds 6 of the top 7 spots,
right.
Which is pretty crazy. Ohio State, the only one in there, breaking it up a little bit. So the SEC, we knew it was going to be a little bit more dominant, but now it's just a matter of like how many of their teams are going to make the playoff potentially. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be crazy. It's definitely going to be insane, man. I was laughing. I was like, if Panthers take my advice to draft a quarterback next year, I was saying it's got to be the Texas quarterback. I think right now he's playing very, very well.
Yeah.
Bama looked so scary week 1. Like you look at the box score too, and it's just like starting quarterback was like 7 for 9, but he had like bro had like an
180 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And then backup comes in, basically does the exact same thing, and then this year they look far more normal. I mean, far more human. Like you said, Tennessee actually looked pretty good, and Texas looked just as good though as Michigan looked bad. So you know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like
both.
I still want to see some more stuff, but like Michigan also looked really really bad. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I agree with you though. Georgia right now looks so far from everybody else. You know what I mean? Like even just watching them, it's like right now, like I'm like, how did they lose? You know what I mean? In regards to just like the championship, I don't see it. I don't see any team right now beating them at all.
No, I hope we're right with that. You never know on catch them on a bad day. So, but It's like it's going to be a lot more interesting as far as the playoffs. You have to win 3 games at least, even if you get a bye or win 4. So this will be something that we've never seen before in college football for sure. So maybe we'll see some more upsets. But speaking of upsets, it looks like the chat is a little bit pleased with Notre Dame losing. They lost to Northern Illinois.
Notre Dame is hilarious.
I know. I'm sorry, Springfield, man. I know you're out there, man, and I know that's your squad. But I'm sure he was just as disappointed as others were happy with that, because I feel like it was a letdown after a big week 1. To lose to Northern Illinois University, Wolfpack, Salukis, whatever they are.
It's crazy. That
was tough, but they still are hanging in there in the top 25. And they still do have a pretty solid schedule, so we'll see how they get through it. But that was I figured that the panel would be a little bit excited about the Notre Dame loss.
They're definitely going to lose again. It's too early. I don't see them going the rest of the season undefeated. That's for sure.
Steven said we're a lacrosse school. I'm like, yo, you don't want to see us on the field though. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, but yeah, I thought this was a bounce back year for Notre Dame. I thought after that first one, maybe it was my fault, Steven. Maybe I shouldn't have got my hopes up for y'all, because I feel like anytime I do that, it's like I seem like a bad,
kind of the opposite effect.
Yeah, exactly. Like same thing happens when I bet on a team that's not. You know what I'm saying? Like for some reason they just all of a sudden they get the whiffs, But yeah, man, I still feel like if they do make it the rest of the way, they can still make it in there. But it's going to be a tough sled, especially because that one loss is, depending on how NIU does, it's going to look like a bad loss. But now NIU, they crept to the top 25. If they keep it going, maybe it doesn't look so bad. But that'll be a tough hill to climb. So the Northern Illinois coach was awesome in his interview. Definitely agree with that, moms. If you guys check that out, you can see it. And honestly, like those type of things and those type of videos and those types of glimpses into like authentic reactions, it reminds me, as always, of like just how cool it is. Because we root for this, we watch it, we're disappointed, the ups and downs, but there's people behind all of this, putting their heart into making this stuff happen. So, so it is really cool to see, man, to kind of see how much it means to people out there. So
yeah,
for sure. All right, that's what's up. I think we made it just right at the hour, so I'm going to go ahead and shut this thing down and get us back into our normal view. But Strizzy, anything you want to prep for or talk about real quick while we wrap this up?
Oh man, I know it's early in the week, but make sure you get your picks in for Pick'em. Don't miss out. And hopefully you I don't know if you just missed it altogether or haven't hit the link yet, but hopefully you get in there. It's never too late to catch up, that's for sure. It's only 1 week. Fantasy lineups as well, and then overall excited, man. Just football back, bro. Like it's just, man. Like minus the Panthers still looking like they did look, but just having football all Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Saturday, and Sunday because NCAA. Like it was just a beautiful weekend, man. I couldn't ask for nothing else. Yeah,
most definitely. I concur, and it's gonna be actually Springfield was telling me the other day. We're chatting last week. It's like. It's going to be light speed to the end of the year because once football season hits and it's busy like that, like every day of the weekend like that, it just feels like the rest of the year just flies by.
Yeah, for sure.
So get your Halloween costume ready, get your turkey ready, you know what I'm saying? Get the Christmas gifts bought because it's about to be on, man. It's all coming for us.
For real.
Oh, Pop said the NFL game in Brazil was a disgrace. Halftime show was trashy. I didn't see the halftime show. I still got to go back and look at it. But Pops, I forgot. I'm sorry that I didn't go and check that out because I do want to talk about that. I gotta see it. So we'll have to see it. Maybe we'll post something in the socials.
That's a good point.
Unc says baby names. So we got some baby names working, but you know, we can't even be set on a name because we don't know the gender yet. So it's gonna be down to the wire. We'll have to see. But you guys can make guesses if you want to, and we are taking guesses on date, time. You know what I'm saying? Weight, that type of stuff. So if you guys want to get in on the pool, let's do that. Steven says K-Dot at the Super Bowl. I'm disappointed, honestly, that it's not Lil Wayne because it's in New Orleans. I think Kendrick Lamar is dope.
Right.
But I really honestly hoping that it's not just like him doing the They Not Like Us song like 3 times in a row. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like they're gonna start with that and end with that. You know what I'm saying? Like
bro, like real quick before we jump up. I love Kendrick Lamar. You know what I'm saying? I do like I'm a big fan of like his music and just him as an artist in general. But somebody was like, somebody said, name 5 Kendrick Lamar songs that are Super Bowl worthy, and I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? I was like, and damn's one of them. You know what I'm saying? I was like, bro, I don't know, like, cause like for me, like even Not Like Us, I'm like,
it's not like a mega hit like that.
But like that's a diss track. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like you know what I mean? That's not. You gonna call Drake a pedophile in front of the entire? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know, man. But Lil Wayne's got bangers on bangers on bangers, and like you said, and it's in New Orleans. Like, they dropped the ball.
Yeah, I feel like Jay-Z is like that, you know, liaison to the NFL, and he's like has his hand in that, and I feel like there's something behind that, man. It's like, dang,
for sure.
But we'll see. We'll still be there to watch it and check it out. But yeah, I think K-Dot is gonna have to bring out some friends, man, because
K-Dot and friends.
It's just exactly. Like, you know, you got to make it like a collaboration or something, because I don't feel like we want to hear like swimming pools, and it's just not the right vibe. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
Halle Berry.
Yeah, exactly. It's just he makes like different type of music than like you know that. But we'll see. But great comments. Thank you guys all for being a part of the show. We appreciate you. We love you. We will see you on Thursday with all of our NFL picks, and we'll see you next Tuesday back with episode 264. But until then, it's your boy A-Dub.
And your boy Strizzy.
Peace.